What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 316 of Opinions May Vary. I am your host, JR. My co-host with me, Alex.
Hello.
Joining us this week is no one. I wish it was Stone Cold Steve Austin. Sadly, it is not, despite the entrance music. But it is episode 316. And what kind of podcast would we be if we didn't call attention to that?
Yeah.
We're probably the first people to ever do that. I guarantee you.
Sure. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely.
Yep.
Yeah.
First people ever. No one else has ever used his entrance music for anything. So, but it's a special episode. There is no guest, but it's like a lot of guests.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's almost all the guests.
Yep. Yep. So Alex has been putting together, slaving away while I you ever see Futurama with the robot who is literally a couch and he eats grapes?
Yeah. Yeah.
While I sit on a couch and eat grapes, Alex plugs away at his computer, putting together things for our handful of listeners.
Regular listeners who've been with us
Since
a long time.
Yeah.
Like,
You know how long?
Years.
Like 6 years. Because we hit our anniversary thing a couple weeks ago.
We didn't do the anniversary episode the 2 weeks ago because we had some fire guests.
We did. We had too many good people lined up, so we had to delay our anniversary.
Which I'm fine with.
Yep.
I'd rather deliver good content while we can.
Yep.
And,
Yep. It meant we got to talk to cool people
We did.
without having to be like, hey, we got to do this weird thing first.
Yeah. And where we can, we like to help others out. A lot of our shows predicated on doing whatever promotion we can for other people. And if that means getting their information about their Kickstarter out on time before the Kickstarter is over.
Yeah, we peddled a lot of Kickstarters lately, but I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
Because
Some of our
ultimately it's really
favorite
cool
people.
shit. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So it is technically a couple weeks past, but we are celebrating our 6-year anniversary because 6 years. We started this in 2012. We started in March of 2012.
Yep.
And here we are, 316 episodes later. I don't know what can be said that I haven't said every other year, whereas, oh my God, it's so amazing. We couldn't do it without all the people listening and all the people.
Which we did a lot of patting ourselves on the back just a short while ago with number 300 when we had Dave on.
Yep.
And he gave us a lot of trivia and we talked about the guests a lot. And
it was neat. Yeah.
It was, yeah.
Yeah. So we have a couple things. Historically, we play some fun clips.
Mm-hmm.
They get longer as the years go on because, and I credit that to the quality and the caliber of our guests because they're just so, and also we're pretty great. We're pretty entertaining. Alex played me literally like 2 seconds of this thing and I was already laughing so hard at my own joke. I had to like leave the room.
There's a couple of them.
Yep. Yep. So I'll mute our mics while we listen to it because I'm probably going to be laughing obnoxiously.
I definitely will be.
Yeah. So.
But first, I want to start with how we normally end by reminding you of who's been on over the past year.
All the guests. So this is for year 5.
Yep.
All the different guests who joined us on our humble show.
And we were lucky enough they would give us their time and their evening, their day, whatever.
We convinced a lot of people to waste a lot of time with us, which is pretty neat.
Yeah. And in yearly fashion, this is my thank you.
It's
for
all
that.
the guests.
Yeah.
I ruined it.
It's okay. It's okay.
Oh God. Yeah.
No, we'll
just listen.
I'll put this in next year's list.
All right. So I believe that's going to do it. So until next time, I have been JR.
I'm Alex.
I'm Joe.
I was Colin.
And I'm Israel.
And I'm Todd.
I'm Matthew James now. Can I do it? Okay.
And I'm Michelle.
And I am Ryan. Make sure your opinions are varied.
And I'm Brett Kelly. I'm Jared.
And I'm Ray.
And I'm Amber.
I'm Dave.
I'm Nichelle.
And I'm hitting that dusty trail.
And I'm Brian. I guess I'm Drew.
And I'm Melissa.
And I'm Shinny Boo.
There it is. And this has been episode 283.
Sinead.
Yeah, you know Sinead, by the way.
And I'm Carly Wynn.
Well, until next week, I was Bob. Oh, look at me, I'm Alex Squires. I run a podcast, Wizzly Woozly.
That's really accurate.
I'm Megan.
I'm Bobby.
And I'm Dave.
Oh my god, you guys are naturals.
I'm Monique.
And I'm Peter.
And I'm John.
And I'm Tony.
Thank you for doing this today. Dave from Dead by Daylight.
No problem. What's fun?
And I'm Joshua Williams.
And I'm Charlie.
I guess I'm Jason.
And I'm Ken.
And I'm John Boy Myers.
And I'm Zach.
And I'm Savage.
And I'm Newligan.
And I've been Ross. And I'm Corey Lynn Hubble.
Thank you guys for joining us here with our lady episode of Opinions May Vary. I am Victoria.
I'm KT.
I'm Nichelle. And have a great night.
That was nice.
Yeah.
That was nice. And it's also like every year it gives me the, oh yeah. Because I have the memory of a fly and I don't remember anything. It's very common. Typically I struggle, like sometimes people will hit me up and be like, yo, that thing you said like 2 weeks ago in that episode.
Right.
And I have to say, I trust you that I said that. I maybe, you know what? I'll believe you. I probably said it.
Mm-hmm.
There's a good chance I didn't, but that was really neat. Seamless. We had a lot of cool people on this year.
We did.
Yeah,
We really did.
we really, really did.
Yeah. A lot of ladies,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
which I'm happy with.
Yep.
Anytime like I could promote more women and the cool
Especially
stuff they
wonderful,
do. Yeah.
wonderful women. Arguably, one of our best episodes to date, and we had nothing to do with it. Tells you something. But huge thank you to everyone, everyone who made time to join us this year, devoting their nights and weekends to letting us ask some questions and gush about how much we like their stuff.
Yep.
Because that's what we do.
It's
That's what we do. Yep. And I get to ask the generic ones, and then Alex comes up with the good ones, and then I go back to generic ones, and all the tangents that we hit.
sometimes we're jealous over who got to which question first.
Yep. Yep.
Because we're on the same. But you know, I meant to say this a couple weeks ago to you,
Oh,
JR,
God.
because we had another. I forgot who we were talking to. We had a guest on. It was one of the good ones. I mean, but you know, which one?
Because there's bad ones.
Which ones haven't been good? But in the past, I've said something along the lines of, I'm really glad that we do this together. Because if I was trying to do it by myself, it wouldn't be as good. Which is evident whenever I do manage to, I have to talk to someone like in the daytime while you're still at work.
Mm-hmm. Which is baller, by the way, because I would never, ever, ever have the stones to do that. 'Cause I wouldn't be able to do it. I guess I'm never talking to him. Anyways.
But it was really nice having you here with me, and the two of us being able to, like, you know, do this verbal tag team with our guests and come up with some good conversations.
Every now and then, we're pretty good at it, I gotta say.
Yeah.
Despite, you have a little training.
A little bit.
You have a little bit of training, and then I took a class in high school about audio that I didn't retain any of. So, yeah, I mean, 6 years in.
Well, you're also really funny.
You're funnier, you know.
Looks and everything.
Oh no.
I was ready for that.
Self-deprecation. That's our go-to. It's our forte.
We're pretty good at that one. Yeah.
But we don't have too much time left. That goes to we're 9 minutes in. Goes to show how much we have, or how much Alex has put together for this year.
When I try to do our best of track last year, there was enough material where I was able to save it up and do like a B-side.
Yeah, we had the B-sides a couple months ago,
which I think we played in December.
Yeah.
I was thinking there's enough where I could do a B-side and then a +1.
The C-sides.
and I was thinking, instead of like wasting an episode on another one, maybe we'll do like a secret YouTube
right.
Secret YouTube play.
YouTube.com/OMV podcast. You could listen to all of our episodes starting with, I can't remember which one, but they go pretty far back. There's probably over 50 or 60 episodes on there now.
Oh yeah, easy.
If I had to recall.
Oh yeah.
But you can listen to all of our episodes. There's some pretty old videos still on there too. A couple of the hey, look at these comics.
Yeah.
The Steampunk World's Fair interviews with This Way to the Egress, I think, are still up there. I think. Maybe I locked those. I can't remember. I locked a lot of the old interviews because they're really old and they have no pertinent information.
Also, we never talked to This Way to the Egress. It was
Emperor Norton.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, I'm such a piece of shit.
It's okay.
Oh, well.
We've been through a lot of stuff.
Yeah, it's
We've
true.
been through a lot.
Yep.
While we're hyping YouTube, in case you don't know, we also have an Instagram.
We do.
We have a Twitter. We have a Facebook.
Everywhere. Facebook's losing steam. Follow us on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
You'll see a lot more. Follow us on Instagram. You might see it, depending on how the algorithm's feeling that day.
But one of the things I do want to stress is find our guest gallery. Not every guest is on there, but our guest gallery on our Facebook page. If you want to hear who you're talking to, we have pictures of most of the guests up there. So like every time we mention Brett, Joe, or Colin, you can go find their picture and go, oh, right, here's the 30 to 50 episodes I could listen to them on.
Because there's so many.
But there's a lot of other guests too. If you like hear someone's voice and go, who is that? You could go look up a picture of John looking amazing and Will looking kind of silly. But
They do look pretty great.
yeah.
If I have to say so myself.
So do us a favor, check those out, throw some likes so we know you're there. Or, we'll catch up later.
Yeah.
And even if you go back through the Instagram, a lot of those posts are about episodes.
Right. Yep.
So like you look up a piece of art and go, oh, I see this is from Kihosik was on, or the one I posted recently from the fitness guys I was watching.
Right. Yep.
The guy that like trains to look like Goku. He's Goku Flex on YouTube, and he had Kihosik art in his room. And so I posted, I was like, look, it's Kihosik. It's his stuff we've seen. We've talked to him on a show. And then he liked it. He saw that post, which I was psyched about.
That's neat.
Yeah.
That's nice.
And I was like, do you know Goku Flex like has your art in his room? But anyway.
The episodes on YouTube go back to 232. Do you know what the first one is?
No.
Rob Bricken.
Ooh.
Right?
That's a good one.
Yep. That was the first episode that ever got put on YouTube. Just for the record. You can also hear the previous highlights from years past that Alex had put together there's 1, 2, and 4. Apparently I have not put 5 up there yet because I'm a piece of shit, but
because the episode itself is up.
True.
Yeah.
But I know we had clipped out.
Yeah.
And we put it up on YouTube. But now anyways.
Anyway.
So you can go check all of our social mediums out. Give us a follow if you were so inclined to do. That would be kind of neat. Mm-hmm. And you can hear our voices on a weekly basis. Who wouldn't want to hear that? Some people do.
So
there's
a few.
Some tell us that they're okay with it, and we're inclined to believe them. But anyways, we have wasted too much time already. We need to get to our neat little clip thing. I have not heard this yet. This is fresh to me, so I'm with all of you. This is my first time hearing it, and I'm excited. I'm anxious to see how it turns out. Did I cover my usual bases right?
I'm pretty confident.
Yeah. Yep. I'm excited. Classic JR. But this is the thing that Alex put together for our year 5 kind of best of moments. So I hope everyone enjoys.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 274 of Opinions May Vary. I am not your host, JR, clearly.
The Rihanna Invincible that Oddly did for me wound up in his latest hardcover sketchbook.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, you finally joined the club.
Shut up. That's enough out of you.
Because my Alan the Alien as Cyclops made it into volume 9.
Just hates Superman because he made him bald. that inspired his whole vendetta.
That's canon.
Yeah.
Someone explained it to me. Superboy breaks into Lex Luthor's lab, and the shockwave from him breaking through the wall blows his hair off.
And that's where it all began.
That's why he's bald.
That's how it all starts. Yeah. And then he just zeroes in. I have to kill this man now.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 269 of Opinions May Vary. Nice. I am your host, JR. I have my co-host with me, Alex.
Hello.
But my favorite murder is doing one where I don't have a favorite murder. That's the name of a podcast. But they have their own pins, or I think like people have made them on Etsy. They don't like prosecute because they want them to make money, and they just like that there's a fandom that's growing. And they have a lot of catchphrases like "Stay sexy, don't get murdered," or "You're in a cult, call your dad." And I'm like,
I got him.
I really like that one.
They're funny women. They're very funny women.
Awesome. Oh, I hit record, so I guess we're going. What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode.
This
300.
is it. This is the show.
Yeah,
shit.
we're going. I hit record, and then it's episode 314 of it.
And her decision to not tell Diana as she's leaving. Okay, this is a good point for us to stop and be like, spoilers, we're going to talk about stuff that happens in the movie.
Oh, yeah, like 27 minutes.
Well, yeah.
27
we
minutes
can
in?
curse now, though, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck. Just once.
I think
Why
Victoria
she
already went there. I did. I can't go there again.
And just
Put pins on your cargo shirts.
pin them all on
Bringing
your
it
cargo
back.
shirts.
That wouldn't be. That's not. I kind of like that idea.
Yeah. See, like jangle
It
as
might
you
be kind
walk.
of scratchy on the inside.
Yeah.
though.
Like all the pin backing is scratching your thighs.
The pin arcade ones are rubber. So,
Oh, okay.
but
Good.
the rest are
Rubber's the way to go with pin backing now. By the
Stay
way,
safe,
Like that's the.
It took you a second.
John's on fire today.
Call your dad.
It's mind blowing. Anyways, conventions, volunteering, something I have never done.
There's one tangent.
Yeah, that was a tasty one too. A real tasty tangent.
Maybe more.
Let's talk about our Rumble predictions.
What was episode 159?
That's an abomination.
It's been a while.
Over
120 episodes, almost 120 episodes.
Goodness gracious.
Ass is bodacious, but we are able to remedy that today.
Yeah, I did a Galactus commission recently, and it turned out really great, but like you can never find a reference for Galactus that's the same. Like everybody draws every statue is different, like
Yeah, it's true.
there's so many variations. You're like, well, I guess I'll try to get this right. Like I hope this is the way he's supposed to look. I don't think anybody really knows.
That was also a little intimidating
Oh yeah, 100%.
because I wouldn't want to raise my hand because between Jamie and Chalmers mostly would start like explaining things to me that would have made this easier to do. It's like, here's how simple you could have done the thing. Maybe you should start doing the thing. And I'm like, Brandon, stop. Just
you're taking away my reasons to not do it.
Well, yeah, because his favorite thing to do is to just be like, what do you want to do? What is the thing you want to do? And then the follow-up question is, why haven't you done it yet?
Yeah.
And then when you hear yourself say it out loud, it already sounds stupid.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Like every single time you're like, what do you want to do? Make a book? Why haven't you done it yet? Oh, I'm busy. It's like, how stupid do you sound? Get less busy.
I'm
Do it
already
anyway.
embarrassed.
Yeah.
And since you've already hit another 132 since the 10,000 announcement, which looks like was 2 weeks ago. So what do you attribute to the growth of sketch prices in general? Is it how do you see that?
Well, first being on this podcast,
obviously. Yeah, that probably got like 2 or 3. So
yeah, at least 4.
it got Brett and
and Brett's a legend. Of course.
It's true, he is.
So.
Because instead of just talking about it, I'm trying to explain why I do it.
Yeah.
Because I have to justify it.
Yeah, which is weird because people say be happy and proud of your hobbies, and I think we are, but for some it's still that sense of like I'm not just going to come out and let you know that I'm a pro wrestling fan. It's like
Yeah.
it's weird.
Can you imagine trying to like you're making your comic book chops, you're trying to get up there and get recognized, and you're like, yo, I've got an amazing Heroes for Hire story. It's not even Luke Cage and Iron Fist. It's the Daughters of the Dragon, and they've got Shang-Chi with them, and it's gonna be a great story. And then they go, yeah, what if World War Hulk happens? And you go, what? Excuse me?
Just completely our brutes.
Just put the Hulk in your
You gotta Hulk it.
This is laid out for 18 issues.
No,
I
we're
know
gonna Hulk.
exactly. It's gonna be like women empowerment. It'll be great.
It's great, but if you could throw some Hulks in there.
So this happens all the time.
Yep.
So Mike, I mean, when he was younger, he did like a bunch of commission pieces, and they'd be like, "Oh, can you take us through the process?" And like after he was done sculpting, he would make a couple of sketches to make these people happy. But like he just goes.
Well, I have a chat box open right now between us, and at this time, you had told me in the last 24 hours these artists have joined Sketch Braces: Tim Sale, J. Scott Campbell, Mark Brooks, and Dave Johnson.
What the? Are you serious?
Oh my goodness!
I was like, Tim Sale's cool. It's all gonna the names are gonna go down from there. He's obviously the best one.
He was
Brock Lesnar did it at WrestleMania 19 and landed on his fat head.
What's the difference between shooting star press and moonsault?
You go forward.
Which way you're facing?
It's like
So
literally standing.
You're standing
Just
on
get
the
on
ring.
the table and show them. Don't do it with your fingers.
You're standing on the ring. You're facing the crowd. The ring's behind you.
We're in a house full of action figures using your fingers.
These are
these are collectibles.
These are collectible statues, sir.
I looked over too. I was like, why should I not have said that? It's because I said action figures.
There's only 2 action
JR
figures.
looked at me like, oh, here it comes.
There's
Don't
only
fuck
2
up.
in here, and they're both behind you. And yes, they're still
don't
mid their
touch it.
package.
Let me just open up this package here. What is it?
I don't think Bob should have died. I think it was lazy writing. I think they even revealed that they created the character to die, which I think is always.
Oh, so Bob's
Did
in
they fridge
refrigerators.
Bob? Oh,
Yeah,
we did it.
Let's high five.
I don't think they fridged him.
No.
I don't think it was the we need to keep going, because isn't that the object of a fridge? You know, is it needs to motivate
Other
people.
You know, like I feel like they were already. He was just a casualty of war.
Nancy thought of Bob dying when she cranked up the heat on her son.
That was cool. I'm glad.
Like she was motivated.
Right.
Bob got fridged.
I liked when Mike was like, you know, Bob was the original. He started the AV Club.
That was a nice story.
That I was like, okay, that
Why
seems
didn't
too
we-
convenient, but I love it.
Yeah, why didn't we know that before? You know, the writers
Exactly.
like thought of that after, like, fuck, we should have said something.
You gotta do it right. We actually and I'm not doing too off topic, but just on Twitter yesterday, we had a customer was like, I have Pollo, I have Tony, but I can't justify the cost of Savoy. And I get it, right? Because he's expensive.
Yeah.
But it's like, I couldn't justify not making him in scale to reach a lower price point. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I couldn't not do it right. Right? That's it. You know, that's it. So in doing it right, if because I don't work backwards, right? So that's another thing in the industry. Like people like to step like, oh, what will someone pay for this type of piece, right? I think their comfort zone is in this range. So then they have that number, and then they work back, right? They work backwards and like, well, okay, well we can't spend any more, you know, than tooling, and we can't spend any more on prototyping than this, and then we can't spend any more on sculpting than this. You know, no, and trust me, right? So we've tried that approach with a couple pieces over the years, and every time the piece suffers. Every single time the piece suffers, and it's, I'm done. I won't do it anymore. No, I don't care. I don't care. Wherever the price falls, that's where it falls. I'm not working backwards. We're gonna, from soup to nuts. It gets sculpted, it gets produced, prototyped, whatever, you know, and then whatever it ends up being, that's what it costs. You know, that's what it is. And I'm not going to skimp, and I'm not going to make concessions because, well, it's a little too big, and if I made it a little bit smaller, I'd save 10%. You know, no, I'm not.
Yeah. So did you use a gram scale, or did you just eyeball it in a cup?
Gram scale.
Perfect.
Well, I was doing work for Kyle, and I wanted to get it right, and I've seen him make it look really easy.
I was sitting here on bated breath, and I was like, if Alex embarrasses me and says that he eyeballs it right now.
Yeah. Oh, no, you never eyeball.
Walking to the floor, I was like, okay, we're out of packs.
Mm-hmm.
It's, if you've seen and when I say I don't know what I should have expected, you know, I didn't know what was going to happen. Like, I should have known.
Okay.
You know the tabletop area at PAX?
Yeah.
It's that, but really big.
Yeah, it happened a few different times where people didn't show up, and it actually happened to Tim when we were in Paris.
on a pretty expensive piece, and that's why I take money up front for mostly everybody, because people will spend their money elsewhere and forget or feel embarrassed that they can't come back and pick it up, and I don't want to have to deal with that. So
how often is it a case of like, well, this really sucks versus don't worry, it'll sell eventually?
Well, yeah, that's why, if somebody asks for strawberry shortcake or something, you're paying it well. There's no way you're leaving without that. But, the person requested a Arkham, Joker, and Batman by Tim. So that I sold it within 5 minutes of putting it on the website.
That's the same thing with Bagley. I had to do a Carnage commission once. I went to Mark Bagley at a show. I've known Mark for a bit. I walked up and I chastised him for how hard Carnage is to draw. I was like you. And so I cussed him out. I was like, I had to do this commission, and why couldn't you have created something that was a little bit easier to draw? He goes, dude, I didn't know it was going to be that popular. Because I would have known that he was going to take off like he did. I wouldn't have made him like that. I wouldn't have made him so hard to draw.
The scenes, the sexy scenes.
Yeah, actually, thinking about the sexy scene and how much they didn't show, I'm thinking about times in which we did see much of anything. I think the only thing I could think of is when she she jumps and she lands, and you get that close up on her thigh.
Oh, the superhero landing.
Yeah,
the superhero landing.
And they let her thigh jiggle.
Oh yeah,
that's great.
They
what?
didn't edit that.
We all jiggle.
And one that kind of cried out to me was when you were talking about working on Spawn and talking about McFarlane and him giving tips on whatever about if you move Spawn's cape a bit, you could cover up half this leg that you don't have to draw now. And with stuff like that, it's like, well, at some point I understand it's like, but I want to draw this. But at the same time, our friend Rich Woodall explained to us the Mike Mignola theory of when in doubt, black it out.
Oh man, oh dude, McFarlane even used that quote. He was talking, oh dumb boy, you're drawing too much, and I gave him this big cape so you can hide him and stuff like that. I'm like, dude, I like to draw, Todd. Man, come on, I got this, man. But then about 3 issues in, I'm like, oh hell with this, man. I'm putting this big cape.
Let me get that cape.
Oh man, I'm blacking this out. I'm like, oh, man, it's a lifesaver, And Todd was always giving me really good nuggets here and there. About doing stuff and how to pace myself, and I learned so much working with Todd. Both good and bad.
Friends, really. Yeah, I imagine we all have at least the one. But this is way back when Shadow Colossus first. It was on PS2, yeah.
Yes.
Yep. And he was playing it, and I remember this person. He was trying to take down one of the colossi. I don't know.
Yep.
And he just couldn't do it. Hours. I'm watching this guy fight the same thing over and over and over again, and I just wanted to die. I hated every second of it.
It's pretty amazing. And then not only that, but you have to document what you're doing.
Okay.
So you're basically writing research papers for fun.
And even just you're naming all these different methods or style or techniques, rather, I guess. It's I've never known a thing besides, it's just sewing.
Yeah, you sew it.
There's different styles and different methods, and in being able to pass this on. And at what point? There's so many. I'm sorry if you can't answer all of that. I'm just vomiting questions.
It's really hard to I'm sitting here trying to angle my next line of questioning because they come in groups.
Doing this historical research. At what point is there more research? Haven't we discovered all of it yet?
No.
So
if that makes sense.
So you have to essentially see the image in the negative,
and also flipped left right.
How do you do that? that instantly gave me a headache, and I've never even tried it.
and she mentioned that she's going to be Caterpie, and she has a friend that's going to be Butterfree, and a bunch of other friends doing other kinds of bugs. And I'm like, all right, well, maybe I could do Metapod jokingly. And I looked him up. I'm like, wow, he looks so derpy. I'm like, how? I don't want to cosplay as that.
Now you know why there hasn't been a Metapod.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm like, maybe might be a challenge that I can do and make him look cool. And I'm like, you know what? He's green, he's pointy and spiky, almost like Guyver. So I'm like, that's a good mashup that I can do.
Now that I play it, I get it. I'm still not very good at it. I'm not very good at the role playing. I can't make decisions and I panic.
That's the best way to play.
But like, are you able to like speak about your time like working, with this game, what that was like?
Yeah. So to give some background, growing up, I was the kind of kid that walked around a forest with my little stick and acting like it was a sword. And so like, to me that was normal. And then I started playing D&D when I was 17. And even then my parents were like, oh, this isn't, what are you doing? How did I raise a nerd kind of sort of thing. And that's coming from my father, who's like a Lord of the Rings historian. And then I went to school for media and communications and thought, I could get into video games, but that's something that everyone kind of says and then it doesn't happen. But I thought, like, I can make this happen. And so I started at a game studio that made children's HTML5 and app games.
I spent a lot of time on that. At one point, I wanted to know exactly how tall an AT-AT was, and I'm like, this probably doesn't exist. Oh, wait a minute.
Thanks for pronouncing it AT-AT and not AT-AT.
Is that what people...
Oh, I hate those people.
Is it supposed to be?
No, it's not AT-AT. Shut up.
It's a fucking AT-AT.
So what do you call the ones with two legs?
We call it an
ats.
What do you call the one from Rogue One?
The AT-AT from Rogue One.
Yeah.
If you think about what I did with my figures for DC, man, like, who the hell thought that they were gonna let me put tube socks on Batman? There's no goddamn way they were gonna let that fly, right? Like, who was even gonna approach them with that idea and even try to get that through? Like, well, I did, and I got it through.
I kind of had a connection with Jeff, who is now my boss, or mentor. He doesn't like being called boss. He actually just walked by the window like 5 minutes ago and mouthed, "You're fired" at me again.
Again, that's twice since we started talking.
Twice in one day.
Yeah.
That was a character from Italia, Franz. Sorry.
Oh.
Italia's another
thing that I need to binge watch as soon as possible.
I'm sure all animes are also mangas. I'm just going to assume that from now on. No? What?
No. Uranus wasn't based off of manga.
That was based off of something, though.
No.
I think I heard it.
No.
I probably shouldn't debate you on that, should I?
I was going to say, between the two of you, I believe her.
Some you gogglies.
You need some gogs, because when you go to World's Fair with us next year, you're going to need to fit in.
I need to get a Mark B. Donnelly cane when I'm there, too.
It's true.
As long as you don't put your goggles on your top hat. Don't you dare.
I might now.
Nope.
Don't even joke about
I'm going to put them right on my hat.
We're going to have trouble.
Just so, like, my hat can see.
I will light you on fire.
We are, just to give anybody who might not know a little bit about Mike Wieringo, Mike started working in comics back in the early 90s and on The Flash with Mark Waid, and he was dynamic and came right out of the gate, and everybody loved him. That he was a very nice, kind, generous person, didn't hurt things. In 1996, he and I were teamed up on Sensational Spider-Man, and we ran for 3.5 years together on that, and in the process became really good friends. We had dreams of the same kind of comics and telling the same kinds of stories. And in 1999, we went to Image with our pitch for a high-adventure fantasy called Tell Us, which has talking animals and magic and good versus evil and hopefully a lot of fun. Mike died suddenly in 2007 of a heart, basically his heart just stopped.
Ugh.
And he passed away. And so anytime anybody would ask me after that, would I do more Tell Us? The answer was always no. How could it be Tell Us without Mike?
Right.
And I started thinking, well, what if I got all our friends. Mike, of course, made tons of friends in the industry and had a lot of fans who are now in the industry. What if I tapped them each to do 3, 4, 5 pages each of a big 250-page story that I wrote to do one big graphic novel and honor Mike and donate all the money to the ASPCA, because Mike and I were both just huge animal fans. Love animals, and everybody got on board, and then too many people got on board, and it just grew and grew and grew. And I let the story expand and go off in a couple different directions that hopefully will be okay. But now we're at 500 pages. It's in 2 different volumes.
It was a push by somebody I knew. She was like, "You're doing this, you're doing this." I said, "Okay."
I thought that was a pun for a second.
Yeah, she came home after the first couple practices and she's like, I got to hit people. And she just seemed so happy about it. And I was like, well, she's not hitting me, so I'm down for it. I'm good.
It's a win-win for you.
Yeah.
It's a win-win for both of you.
No downside.
I don't beat my husband. Let's just make that clear. I do not beat my husband
anymore.
Oh, that is so wrong.
Damn. It's going to the best of clip.
The two husbands get it.
That's not fair.
We know the truth.
That's not right.
But seriously, she doesn't beat Dave, and nor does my wife beat me.
It's mind-boggling. Because
there's going to be a lot of flattery here, Michelle, because
I tried to warn her ahead of time.
My face is already beet red. I can feel it. I can feel my cheeks.
We have a nasty habit of just kind of gushing and not even really letting our guests speak. But
so sometimes a Variana Chase is the same thing.
But the Galactus is a build-a-figure.
Right.
Or a bath, if you will.
A bath.
Or,
so you got to buy a bunch of little figures that come with a piece.
Yep.
Which is why sometimes I see at toy stores, it's like, oh, hey, it's a Iron Man figure, and then also in the packaging is an arm.
Yes. It's not like the new Guardians movie, and they have some Guardians characters that have some space characters.
Imagine doing Ego.
Like the whole planet. That would be awesome. Like, honestly, that would be awesome.
I have a piece of rock.
Like they.
Yeah, but when you put it together with the other,
it's a face. But like,
spoilers for anyone who hasn't seen Airheads.
Yeah, spoilers for Airheads, by the way, coming up.
I used to masturbate constantly.
And then Let Me Kill Mister.
Why are we talking about that? Sorry.
Anyways, Bob Newby.
Yeah, I don't like him.
Superhero.
You didn't like Bob.
What the? That's all the time we have this week.
So
like we're bashing it. Alex has one thing he doesn't like. We're like, no.
Cancel.
You have to like it.
Edited.
And even on your Instagram, there's a few parts where it's like, here's your like 20 different helmets. And then I'm like, at what point do you... It's like, how many more types of helmets do Spartans need? Was the one not good enough?
Well, apparently in Halo 5 they needed 100 different types of helmets. I think that was the number, was 100 100 different armors.
Dude just loves superheroes. His favorite superhero is Daredevil. But aside from that, whenever we went to train or warm up or practice all of our
Dude, keep his eyes closed.
No.
Yeah, he's the one.
And past artists that we've had who make stuff, they are usually pretty open to their process, because when one of us joke like, I can't do that. You're way more talented than us, and they go, no, you can do it. You just got to practice. Like, you can pick it up. And so, like, thank you for sharing, so much information about like how you guys do this stuff. Because, like, I mean, if you encourage other artists, you could only make more art.
Yeah.
So why would anyone discourage that? So thank you so much for sharing.
Well, I've nothing to be afraid of. I mean, really, it's like, what? Oh, okay, so there's more cool art in the world? Great.
Exactly.
Awesome.
What do I care? Yeah, exactly. Why not? Why not encourage people to, like, go out and make great stuff?
On local TV, he asked us about, like, what's it like to be, like, creepy or, like, to be cast as that, how'd you feel when you found out you were creepy enough to be the Addams? And, I just very politely explained to him, like, the Addams family, they still get excited about things, and they're not, like, totally dark and morose. They're they're excited about things that are just different
Mhm.
than everybody else, and it's just kind of that understanding that they're not totally into the macabre to be different.
Yeah.
They're into the macabre because it's exciting to them and interesting, and they like that.
It's like, and I'm just coming to it like right now, and it could have been there the whole time, but I'm like, yo, the Addams Family is like all about being yourself.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
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 Absolutely.
Right? I'm getting there. I'm like, you guys are all like at the finish line, like sipping drinks, and I'm like, guys, I got it.
Oh yeah.
Be yourself. What?
Right? And don't care, like, call other people. You're the weird one.
Right.
Well, like the excitement thing, I hadn't thought of before. Whereas, like, you know, you think, oh, well, they're the original goths, and like all the Hot Topic kids who are like aren't impressed by anything,
Right.
And they're all they always it's cool to be bored, right? Whereas like for them, it's like we're gonna go have an adventure. They will excitedly pack in the car to go have their adventure and go visit something new.
Right.
You know, it's fantastic.
They go out to the graveyard because they're excited by the history and the idea that these are things that have passed on but existed, and now that they are a part of this legacy.
What's the game they play where they dig up the graves? It was at the end of the
I believe
first
that's
movie.
called Felony.
In Marvel's Capcom Infinite.
Okay.
Even though he's not in it.
He's not in it?
Oh,
not
yeah.
We'll get to
Yeah,
not
it's
a
gonna
playbook.
be, just we're gonna have a good time.
Yeah. So
we're going overtime this week.
we've seen what Capcom has given us with Street Fighter V. What are they going to give us with Infinite?
Well, I mean, obviously, when you say Marvel, a lot of the Marvel heroes. Let's go over all the X-Men who are in Marvel's Capcom Infinite.
Done.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Now,
Wait.
this is where we have to talk about the landscape. Now, I talked earlier.
Hang on.
I know. You're stunned. You're shocked. Do you need us to stop for a second?
I've been waiting an hour to get to this.
Do you need us to stop for a second?
No X-Men.
I'm hearing word. Still no X-Men. Now.
Sorry.
No, it's and I can tell your laughter is not joy. It's not joy.
This is ridiculous.
You think we're joshing you.
I, as a fan personally, am willing to let some inconsistencies slide. Just scrolling through like the dozens of people who are all in it. It takes us weeks to organize me and my 4 friends to try and play Dungeons and Dragons. I can't even fathom trying to get this many people on one project and like divvying up the work and like this is what you're going to be doing, this is what you're going to be doing. Keep in mind, this is inconsistencies. I'll give you a pass on this.
Well, thanks. I will refer to the people who do complain. I will refer them to you.
Yeah,
Please do.
They can come chat.
I was like, let's check these guys out. And Jared says, who are they? And I start like reading their description.
Yeah.
And I was like, ethereal gothic folk music with a dark cabaret twist. And like in the middle of Jared starts going, steam words.
But when you said it, when you would describe it, I was like, man, I like all those things. Yeah, let's check them out for sure.
That's how they get you, Brett.
Wait. I like words, steampunk words specifically.
See CJ Henderson's table because he'd be vending at Jeff Monkman's as well,
Mhm.
and he had a bunch of books. He was a writer, ton of novels, all kinds of novels, and a lot of horror stuff. And I was looking at one of his books. It was like a Baby's First Mythos,
right?
And it was like a Cthulhu ABC book. And he's like, "Oh, my daughter drew these. She's over there." And like she had like a much smaller table kind of around the corner and some sketches. And I was like, "Oh, that's cute. He's helping his daughter get a start. That's nice." And like in my head, what I was thinking back then, I was really throwing the daughter a bone, letting her get her foot in the door. That's nice. You'll do my children's book. And I think like that was had to be less than 6 years ago. And now she was just on stage accepting.
Now she's double fisting Eisner's, just like, what up? Get at me.
My husband and I were at a convention. I get excited about D20 dice.
I
do.
Oh my
I
God. get excited about all kinds of dice.
I get excited about D20 dice. I get excited about colors. I get excited about different designs. I get excited about them. Playing D&D, and I love
fantastic.
it.
I got my tattoo, guys.
So nice. So
if you think that Carly is one of those fake geek girls. I'm pretty sure that's been just blown out of the water by now.
Maybe just shut this off. 'Cause if anything, Carly should just take my spot in this because I think I'm a fake geek guy because I think she's already outshined both in comic knowledge and excitedness, and like I don't even cosplay, so I don't think I'm allowed to.
I know, we're only talking about X-Men.
Right? Like you're
Not
dropping
video
some
games.
you're dropping bomb. Right? We all talking about video games too?
Stewardess comes over and says, "Excuse me, sir, can you sit there
to
and
balance
you
out
sit
the
there
weight?
To balance it.
Balance out the weight."
And I was like, okay.
That happened to my dad. He was on a flight to go to like a firefighter
convention.
It was some kind of thing. There's a bunch of
Buy
stuff.
some original hoses.
Oh, God damn it.
Sometimes it's a
Fired.
convention. Sometimes they send firefighters out to like go watch the truck get built when they buy a new truck.
That's cool.
And then other times
It's like
departments
watching the sketch right in front of your eyes.
Yeah. When a company's going to hire like a new chief or something, they bring in chiefs from other departments to do their questions.
Like a panel.
Yeah. Exactly like that. This is really good.
What are you dressed as? Oh, I'm a structure fire. You know what my favorite part is? Arsonist Sally.
It's a good one. I like that.
It literally will not get better than that.
You know, I was going to move on to something else, but...
Anyone else thinking of more jokes?
I'm trying to, but none of them is as good as that.
So collectibles, yeah. Collect what you like. It's okay if you play with them. It's okay if you don't.
All right, time to talk about coins, you guys.
Okay.
Is that all the time we have?
Okay, I guess we're not talking about coins. Do you think they live in constant fear of masked murderers?
Who?
The camp counselors?
Yes.
That was quick. Because Jason might show up or any of the other... Who knows?
The spoopy people with the stabs.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
She gets it.
If you've seen the Inferentants series, that's the peasants running away from the UFO. Those are actually based on Hans Holbein's Dance of Death series, which was a book that he did. I want to say following one of the bad plagues of Europe, which really doesn't narrow it down, but I don't have the date in front of me.
Because you mentioned you had like you made dream catchers and things like that. Like, were you an artist before this, or was this kind of like a happy accident in that it's like, wow, I'm down with this?
Everything is a happy accident. I am a chronic dabbler. I have no formal training whatsoever.
That's. I kind of don't believe you because like it's so good.
You know, yeah. That's what mine are. But actually, yeah,
I love my job, so I don't know what that means.
You're one of the lucky ones.
I know.
Good work.
Thank you.
Mo has a
I had
really
to go
cool
back
job.
to school for it, though.
Well,
right.
So.
And you had to learn a completely different language.
I did. I
I think it's time for a segue. Good one.
Ooh, we did it. Oh my God. Did you guys see that?
That was on purpose.
It's almost like we've been doing this for 290 episodes.
Now we're going to get to college.
Yeah. From two people who did not go to college.
I kind of went, but not
yeah,
really.
I went to community college.
I did.
And I did not get a degree.
I did 2 semesters at a real college for a thing that I ended up not having an interest in.
Yep. Which we're doing now, in a way.
No.
Oh, it's not.
I went for physical therapy assistant.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I went to.
I thought it was for like audio and sound.
Nope.
Are you serious? Yeah. Who are you?
How long we know each other?
What episode is this?
And that's something I didn't know. Like, I learned how to use crutches right. Remember all the times I get mad at House because he's using his cane wrong?
His cane, yep. Wrong hand.
That's where I learned that, by the way. If you've ever wondered why is Alex so upset about House's cane.
I thought it was just an Alexism.
Nope.
An Alexism.
I learned that at college.
Can you give us like a summary of, because like we've kind of hinted at it, but like.
Yeah, no problem.
Describe your craft.
So what I do is I take a hunk of wood or some other burnable material and a metal pen that gets very, 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 very hot. And then I take the pen and I char the wood and not quite set it on fire. And then, you mark up the wood and make a cool design on it.
If it's not like a too much of a boring origin question, like how'd you get that job to work for designing for Halo?
Oh, you just beg.
Fair enough.
Talking about planning this episode?
We did. And then in true us fashion, we had fuck all. You'll excuse my language.
I mean, you're really going to ruin a 299 streak by planning something? That just seems wrong.
You'd be surprised how much it actually is planned, but doesn't come off that way.
And it really...
Does that count as planning? Does it count as planning if the things you do don't happen?
around the 280s, I think. Like, Alex was like, hey, we should probably start. And I was like, no, man, we got like months until that.
All right, we'll figure something.
And here we are. 3 minutes ago, it was declared, we don't really have a format for tonight.
Yeah, I've got a gig I have to do every weekend.
Okay, yeah, no, I understand. Well, this is the
it's the plight of haunters. Where
it is the plight of haunters, where you want to see everything, but you have to do your own.
Yeah,
you can't hang out with your friends in October.
Yeah.
It's like all the cool kids are hanging out, but mom says I can't go.
Looking this up, I was curious earlier in the week how many guests we've had, and I was like, we should do something fun when we hit 100. We're past 100 guests.
Really?
Yeah. All right, that's one you didn't look up. Okay.
I do not know the actual number of guests you have.
Yeah, because there's certain
what kind of fan are you?
Sorry, I'll leave.
It's funny. I laughed loud at a dick joke, and Mikey called me out on it once, and it was funny.
Colin asked a great question.
Colin asked a really good question. He was one of the few people, not here to bash things, but we're trying to stay positive here. But when a guy talks about how much his show is all about positivity in movies, maybe not everyone just get up and ask him what his favorite worst or the worst thing he's ever, or what makes a bad movie this.
What do you think of this big issue that's going on with this movie, this scandal around this? And it's like, no, Colin asked him what his favorite funny thing is from an Edgar Wright movie, and the crowd went wild for it.
Yeah, he had a good answer, too. Wasn't expecting World's End.
Me neither.
And then, as I was in line to ask him, I was like, God, what if he asks me? What am I going to say? And I'm like, maybe this is an unfair question, because if he asks me and I don't have an answer, I'm an asshole.
Yeah.
You know?
Colin mentioned that to us as we were walking out of the panel, and we proceeded to list off about 40 minutes worth of our favorite Edgar Wright moments.
We need to make a list.
Yeah.
We should do that. Should be an episode.
They're
amazing.
They were one of the first cosplay convention music videos that I saw.
I want to be in one of these videos so bad.
You're in a room with two people who are in one of the videos.
Jesus.
One of us got a spotlight too.
One of us wasn't even dressed up. One of us was in a Star Wars t-shirt.
I definitely care. Do you guys know who Joe Madureira?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. He occasionally will comment on something I post and give me a compliment, and it's like it gives me the vapors. I have to sit down, put my head between my legs, take a drink of water. Sometimes I'll wake up the next day and not know what happened. But occasionally that happens and it blows my mind. Or and the biggest compliment ever was that he tweeted about brutality, and I died.
It's so neat to see.
Thanks for having me, man. I really appreciate people hitting me up and even wanting to do something like this with me, because it's one of those things where I'm still kind of just getting used to, and I hope I never really get used to it, because I think that's when it kind of dies. I'm trying to always be fortunate and always try to be humble about everything I do, even though sometimes it gets hard when you're so used to getting all that attention. And I'm trying to make sure that I always be very thankful for everything, especially this kind of stuff, because at one time nobody cared,
Yeah. Yep.
So and it's super cool that people actually care now, and that's really a cool experience for me.
They were just busy trying to hate on everything Wonder Woman related.
Exactly. Yeah, they were searching hashtags. They found one. They found our thing, and someone flagged it. So it got reported and taken down.
And so we were hanging out with you guys, and Vicky was there, and Vicky was on the episode, and we get to this point where we're like, yeah, it was taken down. And Chalmers was like, what? did you like repost and say the episode YouTube doesn't want you to see? and we're like, no.
And I was like, no, I just kind of discreetly emailed YouTube and I explained our case, and they put it back up a couple days later. And Brandon's like, you missed out, man. You fucked up. Like,
Greg is a workhorse, and if anybody that you talk to that knows Greg, I've never met Greg personally, but I'm friends with Jonathan Glapion, who inks him quite a bit. Just he's inking him on metal right now, and Greg is a workhorse. You know, he says, I mean, Greg's got just an amazing work ethic. But if I don't know how he works, but when it comes to this, but if he's 3 or 4 or 5 days late because these pages are taking that long, or he had to start over on the page, I really don't think DC's going to freak out.
Right.
So with this much practice, do you still stab yourself in the hand, or have you like definitely been able to avoid that?
I've gotten better about that. The other thing is, if I ever have the thought, well, I'm not that drunk, then that's like, you know what, I'm not going to do any carving. Even though I say I'm not that drunk, let's just do some sketching, do some doodles, that. Let's not accidentally ruin a piece because I'm like, oh, I'll just carve through half that figure. Oh man.
Right.
Yeah.
And you know what?
Now that you mention it, yeah.
I was telling JR, I had a very strong Phil Hester vibe off of it too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me Google that. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, I totally know who that is.
Absolutely.
This is our.
Don't worry about it.
This is our 300th episode. Brett, don't call me right now. I should have
Brett,
answered that.
why are you calling Brett?
What do you mean? Answer that.
Used to head up DC Direct years and years ago. He doesn't do it anymore. But back when they first started, they did props like Green Lantern's power battery and stuff like that. And he and I were talking about possibly working on something. I'm like, and I confess, like, hey man, I'm a scale junkie. Like, you commission me to do the Key to the Fortress of Solitude, don't be surprised when a flatbed pulls up. If I'm gonna do it, I want to do it right. I don't want to make a quarter scale or whatever.
Said to the guys earlier in the week, we couldn't have done this without them for our first year.
Brett's calling me now.
And then
Friends, it's bad.
What do you do if you have a shoddy memory? Like,
it happens.
Fucking love Dark Souls, and I have played Dark Souls 1 over and over, and I fucking love that game, but if you ask me the names of the freaking characters, I'm like, the fat guy in the big suit, and, lightning pants, and the lady
the
spider.
girl with the eyebrows.
The girl with the eyebrows. You mean Sandra Bullock.
I do mean Sandra Bullock.
There we go.
We're also big fans, the both of us, and it's another. Can I afford this? We're big fans of Ryan Otley.
Oh, Ryan's great. Dude, he's me doing Spider-Man. I think. Don't quote me on that.
I was gonna say, 'cause that is fun news that I have not heard yet.
Yeah.
Never mind.
We'll hide behind allegedly. Rumor has it.
Allegedly, I had heard that. What I had heard was, word on the street was that he was doing Spider-Man, which is great because that fits
his
right
style.
into it.
His style would fit so well.
I'm not gonna say that I'm gonna take full credit for that, but I have been saying that Ryan Otley's Spider-Man is prime time for years. He's really good at drawing Spider-Man.
When you said that, I just imagined Captain America as Dragon Ball Z. It's like the first issue, he's like, get ready to throw the shield.
He's charging up his shield.
Next
Seriously.
time on Captain America Z.
Adam Manta Wakanda Hameha. You're welcome.
About 20 years ago, I was sharing a house with a bunch of friends, and somebody had left their Dremel kit in the basement. And I was downstairs. So I had a little spot set up for little crafty things that I used to do. I used to make dream catchers and paint and stuff. And I got to flipping through this manual that was in the kit. And towards the back of the manual was an image of somebody writing the letter S and a serial number. And it was explaining how you can use it to put serial numbers on your glass items or your metal items. And I thought to myself, if they can draw an S, I can draw a dragon.
The natural progression.
Yeah.
Yes.
When do you want to go? Next year?
No, I'm just gonna, when is Sinead? Now I want Sinead to go to a con. I want I'm like, do I want her to go to
I'm
Connecticut?
glad. I am glad you brought that up because I wanted to drop this bomb on you.
What the fuck?
She will be here in August. She's going to come to Boston Comic Con.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
There it is.
So that's why I was like, hey, you guys are
I
all
was
down.
wondering. I was
Yeah.
like, what, normally it's like, Colin, are you coming this year? Oh, when is it?
I do have one more thing to add, though. If
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
okay. Like,
Throw it in.
So, anybody who listens to the podcast is a fan of comics. I always urge people, go out to your local comic shop, support your comic shops, buy titles that you like, even if you're going to buy a trade or whatever. The money that you spend in a comic shop goes a long way to supporting the direct market, which keeps comics going. I know a lot of people buy from Amazon and things like that, and those places are great. But if you can, like, making an effort to support your local comic shop is always appreciated, man. And it's the retailers that actually keep our industry going. So the more that we can do to support them, the more we'll have comics to enjoy here in the future. So, yeah, that's it.
Respect.
Sorry.
No, that's
fine.
That's vital. How neat was that? That was super neat. Those never fail to, and again, it's a little self-serving that I get so like jazzed about them, but it's neat. It's really neat, and I appreciate you putting those together every year because it's doing nothing but taking up your personal time to put those together.
Well,
And
it gives me like a really good, nice chance to review. Otherwise, I would have forgotten.
Right. Yep.
About like so much of what we talked about. And then because like doing some reviewing, I went back and had to listen to some old ones too, because I wanted to review like what the background tracks were. And I was
Right.
like, oh yeah, that was good. We did good there.
Yeah.
That was nice.
We every now and then.
And I've learned I could also tell like where I was like in a mindset or an attitude.
Right.
Just depending on like what I clipped and then what I posted.
You can also tell the time of year.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Oh yeah, when my voice.
Well, there's the voice if we're sick. If I'm sniffling,
Yeah.
that means it's springtime. A couple sniffles in there. If you can hear the air conditioner in the background,
Yep.
it's hot out.
Mm-hmm. If my voice
Yeah.
is deep and scratchy, then it's probably Fright Fest. Yeah.
It's so good. We should play a guessing game, like what time of year did this clip occur in? But that was really rad, and I appreciate you putting that together year in and year out.
It's fun.
All I have to do is just, hey, I upload the episodes to the Dropbox. Here you go. And then you make magic out of them, and it's really neat.
Yeah.
It's really neat. And that was a lot of fun. I liked it. I'm getting a little nostalgic and emotional.
Oh.
But that was really neat.
And the crazy thing was that there's almost too much.
Right.
I couldn't
Yeah.
fit what I wanted to into one clip, so
we
stick
got
around.
to take it. We got to take it easy this week.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there might be more in the future
Mhm.
with some B-sides, maybe even some C-sides if we're really lazy, but you know, that's how it goes. But that is I guess that's we're good.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
it.
Yep.
Hope everyone enjoyed our 6th year extravaganza. I'm going to be at PAX this coming weekend. So this will be up a little bit earlier than normal. I've kind of like hit a schedule of uploading on Saturdays, which I think is kind of neat. But this one's going to be up a little bit earlier because on Saturday I am going to be neck deep in the happiest place of my life with some of my best friends. Some of, not all of, because not everyone's going this year. You know, it is what it is.
It's okay.
It is what it is. But hope to see everyone there. I'm going to go see Super R Fight, and I'm going to see video games and board games and card games and pins. And what else?
And then we should talk about it.
And we should probably talk about it. We're kind of
You can educate me on
we're
how it
kind of
was.
obligated to talk about it. Otherwise, yeah. So PAX, that's coming up. I'm gonna be having fun there this weekend, and then who knows what else is coming up in the future. Lots of fun, more guests.
Yep.
So, yeah, that was a lot of fun. Thanks for tuning in, and here's to another 6 years. Stone Cold Steve Austin. I wish we should have tried for him. Like, hey man,
You're right, yeah.
You have your own super successful podcast, and
Yeah.
would you be willing to make a free appearance on ours that a couple people would? Although if you plugged it, probably a lot of people
A
listen
lot
to
more
it.
people.
So
like probably twice as many people.
for now, we'll just use your theme music without permission. But that's gonna do it for this week. Until next time, which are we doing PAX next week? Is that what? Are we doing it that soon? Maybe it'll be our PAX wrap up. Who knows? I don't know if we have any guests planned. Spoilers.
I don't know.
Cool.
I mean, who knows?
We'll see. A lot could happen between now and next week with our amazing schedules. That's going to do it for this week, though. Until next time, I have been JR.
I'm Alex.
And this has been episode 316. I almost said brother. That's Hulk Hogan. That's not.
No.
That's not Stone Cold. And that's the bottom line of opinions may vary. Was that good?
That was good. I like that one.
I didn't like it. Oh, well. It's too late now.